Good morning, children. Today I am going to continue with the explanation of chapter 4, Gopi and Bhaga, written by Upendra Kishore Roy Chaudhary. Before I would continue with the explanation of this chapter, I would like to give you a short briefing of what we did in the previous class. Now, in the previous class, we have studied that when the villagers did not appreciate Bhaga's music, so Bhaga decided that he would go and live in the forest with his drum. So when Bhaga came into the forest, for few days he lived in peace. He was happy. He could play the music. He could practice on his drum, and there was no one to chase him out from there or to disturb him. But after few days, Bhaga could hear a sound of a dangerous beast coming from the other side of the forest. When Bhaga heard the sound of this terrible beast, he used to tremble in fear. Okay, he used to shake in fear. So Bhaga thought that it's best for him that he leaves the forest and finds another forest to live in before this beast comes and gets him and eats him as well as his drum. Now please pay attention while I continue with the explanation of the remaining chapter. The terrible beast was none other than Gopi Gai. What Bhaga thought was the beast roar was Gopi practicing his song in another part of the forest. Now this terrible roar that Bhaga thought was a beast. It was not a beast sound, it was Gopi's voice who was practicing his song on the other part of that forest. Gopi could also hear Bhaga playing the drum, and he too was terrified by its loud roar. Finally, one day he decided to run away from the forest. He could not live in fear of the beast. Now, Gopi could also hear a roar of a terrible beast coming from the other side of the forest, that was from the west end side of the forest. Okay, and when he heard this loud roar of that beast, he was also very scared. He was also very scared, and he could no longer concentrate on his singing. And he decided that he would also leave the forest before that beast comes and gets him, because both of them could not see the beast. These both, Gopi and Bhaga, they could not see the beast. They could hear only the sound. They could hear only the sound coming from different ends of the forest. Okay. So Gopi felt like he could not live anymore in fear of that beast, because it was affecting his practice also, and he could not practice his song well. For that reason, he decided that he would also leave the forest. Now both Bhaga and Gopi, they both decided that they would leave the forest. As he was making his way out, he saw another man carrying an enormous drum on his head. Gopi was amazed to see him. Okay, now while both Gopi was making his way out as well as Bhaga was also making his way out of the forest, then Gopi saw a young man with a huge drum on his head, and he was surprised. He was surprised to see that man with a huge drum on his head. And he asked that man, "Who are you?" Okay, then he asked that man, Gopi asked that man, "Who are you?" He told, "I am." Now that young man said, "I am Bhaga Bai." Then Gopi introduced himself and said, "I am Gopi Gai." "Where are you going?" asked Gopi. Then Gopi, after introducing himself to Bhaga that I am Gopi guide, then he asked Bhaga Bind, where are you going? Why are you leaving this forest? I then Gopi asked, where are you going and why are you leaving this forest? I am going wherever I can find a place to stay, Bhaga replied. All the people in my village are fools, they cannot appreciate good music. Then Bhaga told Gopi that I am going to a place where I can practice my song or I can practice on my drum and become an accomplished musician, because the people in my village are fools and they do not appreciate good music. They do not like good music. They do not like the sound of my drum. For that reason, I am searching for a place where I could live in peace and play my drum in peace and become a successful musician. That is why I came to stay in the forest. Then Bhaga told Gopi, for that reason I came to stay in the forest, but my peace got disturbed after listening to the terrible roar of a beast in this forest. Then Bhaga told Gopi that his peace got disturbed when he heard a terrible roar or a terrible noise, a scary noise coming from the forest, from the other end of the forest. But there is a terrible beast here. If I stay here, the creature will surely eat me and my drum. That is why I am going away. Then Bhaga told Gopi that it seems like there is a terrible creature or a very big, huge animal that lives in this forest. And I am very scared of this animal and I cannot practice on my drum. For that reason, I decided to leave this forest and go to another forest where I could easily practice my song. Because he was scared of this huge animal, or before this animal could come and get him and eat him as well as his drum. For that reason, he decided to leave the forest. You are right, said Gopi. I am also running away from the beast. Tell me, where did you hear its roar? Then Gopi told Bhaga, you are right. I have also heard a very loud roar of an animal in this forest, and I am also very scared. But tell me, where did you hear the roar of this animal coming from? Okay, from where did you hear this terrible noise or this terrifying noise coming from? Gopi asked Bhaga. From the east side, from the bamboo thicket. Then Bhaga told, from the east end of the forest, near a dense bamboo tree. Near a dense bamboo tree, he could hear this loud noise of this creature. Okay, this loud roar of this creature. Bhaga told Gopi. Why, that was me, cried Gopi. Then Gopi cried and said, no, that was me. I was practicing my song under the branches and the leaves of the bamboo tree. I was practicing my song. It was me who was singing. It was me who was singing. It was me who was practicing my song. You heard my song and got scared. It wasn't the beast. That wasn't the beast. That's what Gopi told Bhaga. The beast roared on the western side of the forest by the big banyan tree. Then Gopi told that he also got scared by he also got scared with the loud sound coming from the west end of the forest under a huge banyan tree. Then Bhaga said, no, that was me who was playing, I was playing my drum. It was me that was practicing my drum. Now both these people, Bhaga and Gopi, they mistook each other's music and singing to be a beast roar. Okay, now both of them, they mistook each other's music as well as singing to be a beast's roar. Okay, that was the sound of my drum, said Baga. I was playing it under a banyan tree. As they realized that they had got scared listening to each other's music, they both burst out laughing. Then, when Baga said, "No, that was me, I was practicing my drum under a huge banyan tree, and you heard the sound of my drum and got scared, so that wasn't a beast." Now, when these both the friends, these both musicians, they met each other, and when they heard each other singing and their music, they got scared and they thought or they mistook each other's singing to be a roar of an animal. Okay, to be a roar of an animal or a beast. And then they both began to laugh loudly. Okay, they both began to laugh at each other in a very loud way. And then they both became very good friends. And from that day onwards, they decided that they would both be together and they would both practice together and they would both go and play for the king. Okay, so children, this is the story. I want you to read the chapter. Until then, thank you.